There he goes. Okay. Hi, everybody. For all those that don't know me, my name is Lanita Turqui. I am an certified Optavia health coach. I've been doing this for a little over a year now. So I wouldn't say a veteran. I'm still new to this, but true to this, I should say. I am on my journey. Since starting over a year ago on program, I did lose 47 pounds. Since then, I am still on my journey to lose more, but yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. As far as today, we're going to be talking about the element 19 that talks about how to create healthy sleep and unlimited energy. So for me, I was thinking about this, and for me, I am mild anemic, so I love to sleep. I have no issues with sleep. But for people that do, it does give you a good way to kind of like set yourself up to have better sleep, and then gives you reason why you want to get more sleep. So everyone, if you can do me a favor, just drop in the chat how many hours of sleep you're getting per night, because this is very, very, very crucial. And so the reason why sleep is so crucial, in the life book, it does talk about the research data that they did with rats, where they were basically keeping them up and not letting them sleep. And then within 1 month, all the study rats died. So that just goes to show how vital it is for us to be able to get a good amount of rest per night. The areas that we will be focusing on in this element in the life book will be mindset, skill set, and action. For your mindset, you will understand why energy management is vital to optimal health. Skill set, you will learn strategies to optimal sleep and energy management to accelerate your progress. And then action is to adapt habits of energy management to create more optimal days. So if you, in the chat, let me see what people were responding. So for me, normally it's like 8 to 9 hours. I actually could sleep all day, which is not good either way, because you're not getting anything done. But if I let myself, but let's see. We have people going 6 to 7 hours. Okay. 6 to 7, 7, 8. Okay. So ideally we want to get 8 hours. And so if you turn to page 385 in your life book, it does give you 2 examples of birds. So would you compare yourself either to the lark or to an owl? The lark would be some type of person that is an early riser. You get up, and then an owl would be someone that is like a late night person that stays up late. For me, I relate more to the lark. So I get up typically early, refreshed in the morning. In the Dr. A's Habits of Health book, it does take us to page 402. It asks questions. Are you getting enough sleep? So if you go to your Dr. A's Habits of Health book, it's going to ask, you want to do well to ask yourself, do you wake up tired every morning? Do you need a nap by the afternoon? Do you fall asleep? Do you have to fall asleep watching TV or using Netflix or YouTube in that aspect? Do you find yourself sleepy after lunch? Do you eat big or sugary meals later in the evening? Do you have difficulty falling asleep or staying asleep? So one way to change the habit would be creating the bright line curfews. And so this is when you would stop your activities by. And so on page 403 of Dr. A's Habits of Health book, you see the chart of kind of like the hours leading up to your bedtime. And so 8 hours before bedtime is when you would kind of like stop having coffee. 5 hours leading up to your bedtime, you will stay away from any type of caffeine. 4 hours leading up to your bedtime, you don't want to have you don't want to be doing any type of exercise. 3 hours before your bedtime, you don't want to do any alcohol or heavy meals. 2 hours before your bedtime, you don't want to be doing work or serious conversations. I definitely am guilty of that because I'll be talking to my best friend, aka coach, till I fall asleep or pass out. And I know that's probably not a good habit of getting restful sleep. And then an hour before digital sunset, and then in bed, you want to have like lights out, meaning nothing on. And this is what will set you up for success when you're trying to build better sleep habits. Then if you go back to the Lifebook, page 388, there's a schedule that is broke up into 3 areas. So everybody has pretty much a 24-hour day. If you work a regular like 9 to 5 job, you have your 8 hours that are dedicated to work. You don't really have control over that, right? And then non-work hours, this is our areas that you want to really hone in on setting up a schedule and setting yourself up for a good night's rest. And this is where you can kind of like play around with different commitments and manage your schedule. And then obviously there's 8 hours of just healthy sleep that you want to be able to have. So everyone's schedule will vary depending on their work schedule, especially if you work during the day or if you work overnight. You want to make sure that you're still working in those 8 hours of sleep. Some other tips to help you build better sleep is by changing your bedroom architecture. To do that, you can remove all electronics from your bedroom. You can darken clocks or any other type of light that emits in your room. Like some people have like a light that shines through their TV, like even though the power is off, you can like cover that. Also, it's been suggested to use special glasses to block blue light. And then you want to make sure the room temperature, that atmosphere of your room is less than 68 degrees, because that your study shows that having a cooler temperature, you find that you get better sleep. And then make sure you're not using quilts or heavy, clothing that is making you hot in the middle of the night, because then that will interrupt your sleep or wake you up. And then with me being mild anemic, I always get extra blankets and extra warm clothes when I'm going to sleep. But I just have to keep that in mind because like my husband is basically the opposite. So I will have extra blankets on my side. And then for him, he would have to have less blankets in order for us to both have like a decent quality of sleep. And then it also talked about creating, we talked about creating the nighttime where it's leading up to restful sleep. Now you want to talk about your morning routine. So your morning routine, when you wake up, you want to have like a calm in the morning, right? This is a period of time where you align your body and mind to a state of peace, calm, clarity, and purpose. So you can use that time to meditate. You can, maybe read your Bible or something like that to make sure your mind is in a calm state. Then desired outcome. This is visualizing what your day will look like. So you know what you want to accomplish for the day. You're going to prioritize the tasks that you have to do, and then to actually focus on it. And then motion. This is when you're starting to move around. So even when you first get up out of bed, you can do some stretches, some light exercises. And we talked about it previous elements. When you're doing exercise, it gives your body 12 hours of improved focus. So sometimes if you have issues with like focusing at work, like you feel scatterbrained, things like that, maybe starting your day with a little bit of exercise can help to improve your focus. And then also self-care, getting yourself ready, taking, a hot shower, focusing in on target areas like your neck or your back. This just helps like get you warmed up and prepared for the day. And then at this point, you're ready. You're ready to go start your day and tackle all the tasks that you have. And this all contributes to, your increased levels of energy throughout the day. So for me, this is all that I had got from the section. I don't know if you guys got to read over this part. I know in the element in the beginning, it does tell you like it takes 2 to 4 weeks to understand and like get all of this in, like, I guess, like dialed in, or even to start getting these habits accomplished. So don't think that, if you didn't get a chance to read the whole thing, you definitely want to go back and actually implement some of the schedules that they have in here. And then also figuring out your sleep and energy patterns. So like if you're feeling like energy, your lack of energy, and you need maybe power naps during the middle of the day, things like that, you want to keep a track of it. And then making sure, you're doing all the, nighttime routines and morning routines that are setting you up for your day as well. But did anybody have any information that they wanted to add, or just maybe a win that they had through the week, how their energy has been improved? Let's see. Oh, Tamara.
Yeah, no, I really appreciate this whole element because I'm a night owl. I have a major issue with not going to sleep at night. So this is something I definitely need to work on. And I like some of the reference out of the life book, where a reference to, Dr. A, Habits of Health, and it's on page 405, where it mentioned that, when you're younger, people can sleep under almost any circumstances, right? When you're young, you just fall asleep. But as you get older, just your body creates less melatonin, which is like a natural sleeping inducing substance as we age. So even more so as we're getting older, we just need to take better care of ourselves, get the proper rest and proper sleep. And of course, this will help us out in regards to even just mentally, because it mentioned also in Dr. A book on page 400 that sleep deprivation is a form of psychological torture. It is often considered worse than going without food or water. It rapidly erodes emotion, self-confidence, resulting in erratic behavior. So sleep is very, very major, very important. Sometimes it's overlooked, because we live in a rat race world where it's like go, 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 but we need to really focus on getting a proper rest and getting our energy up.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much, Tamara, for adding that part in there. Yes, definitely as we get older, it does definitely become a struggle for everyone to like build better sleep habits. So it's very important that you do these routines. Carol.
Yeah, speaking of rats, since Tamara brought it up, I thought that part in pages 383, you opened it up so I can bring it up, right? So on page 383, it talks about the test that they did. And I thought, my goodness, that's so scary, where they deprived the rats of sleep, and it shows that all the rats died within a month. Oh my goodness, that's pretty scary. So that just shows the role that sleep, the importance of sleep in our lives. It's like we already mentioned, it's important for your emotional, mental health, and how many people they're talking about now that's just driving every day and they're so sleep deprived that they're having accidents, even that you can't function without proper sleep. And I really liked on page 394, which talks about being a master of sleep and really being a master of ourselves, being our own dominant force in our life, making the decision that we're going to have a better day starts with us calculating and figuring what time we wake up, like how many hours do we actually need, and then backtracking to see when we need to go to bed so that we can get that full time in, so that we can wake up and do what mentioned in the book about having a period of calm, having some time to think about our day, and then moving along slowly at that pace rather than just jumping up and like Tamara said, in a rat race of just going crazy, this, it just makes so much sense, and it's another um, proof of how important what we're doing is, and the program that we have, that we're sharing this information is vital. How many of us actually thought about this before we did this program? I know I didn't. You knew it was important, but did you really think about how important it was, and then how to go about getting proper sleep?
Yes, thank you, Carol. I like you brought out that point too, again, about the rats. I actually like looked that up because I'm like, why do they always do tests on rats? How does that compare to us? But they're actually the preferred biomedical research animal models due to their atomical, physiological, and genetic similarities to humans. So if the rat dies, that means we gonna die. So make sure you're getting your sleep. Okay, let's see, Miss Mama Barbara.
Okay, thank you. I really appreciated this because I've been dealing with this for a minute. I don't know what happened. At one time, my sleep pattern was good. I got into that routine. By 11 o'clock, I was exhausted and tired. Probably for the past 2 or 3 months, I can go to sleep at 10, but then my body rejuvenates. I wake back up at 11, 11:30, even 12, and I'm up. I'm up to like sometimes 4 and 5 o'clock in the morning, and I just couldn't figure out what was going on. And so I concluded with some of the things that was happening with me, and maybe somebody else may be having the same problem, is that, they got Starbucks, got the pumpkin spice and all those coffees. And so sometimes what I found myself doing is that I just wanted it because it was hot, not that I needed it. And I was drinking them after 3 o'clock in the afternoon, not one cup. I'm like, I'm gonna have me another cup. And I think that's what it was doing. Then I have some teas, and it didn't say that it was exactly caffeine in there, but obviously that was some of the problems. I said, you know what, we have to try to eliminate this because it was taking a toll on me. The other thing is that in my room, then I would go in my room and then I would turn the TV on. And I knew it was a no-no, but I said, I'm going to have to, that's why I won't purchase a new one, because I need a new TV. But I'm like, don't get another TV, because like you mentioned about the blue lights, the lights that's all in there, and that keeps me up. And then if I'm not doing that, then I'm on my phone because I like to work. I work at night on my phone. All my stories, I'm doing it at night when it's just chill. But I'm like, so I'm doing everything wrong. But I wake up at 5 o'clock still every morning. But the thing of it now is that I can't get up, but I'm up, but I'll just lay there. And usually now I'm getting up later than I normally have been, only because I'm not getting no sleep. So as you mentioned, and I have read this before, that is very important. I'm trying to implement some things like eliminating the coffee, watching out for the tea, stuff like that at night to see if I can go back to the pattern that I was, because it affects us more than one way. Like it can't burn fat. Our body can't properly function when we're not, we're not eating, when we're not sleeping correctly. And I read that in the book, one of the books, that just says that during this time period between something 10 and 1 o'clock is that our body is burning fat or something that I remember like that. And I keep missing that every time. Because I'm up after 1 o'clock. So I'm like, I keep missing that window. So it's just very important. So I really appreciate it. I'm going to try to see what I can do to eliminate some of this, so I can just start trying to really go to bed at 11 and get some proper rest. Yeah.
Thank you, Mama Barbara, for sharing that. I'm interested now. I'm to see your routine. Let me fax me over your nighttime routine once you finish it, so I can see what you gonna start eliminating next? Let's see, who's next? Ina?
Yes, I really enjoy this element because the sleep, since they changed the hours now, I go to sleep so early. I go to sleep at least 7:30 or 8:30 now. So that's no problem. But before, Barbara, that's how I was before the day changes. Now, soon as it get night, I'm ready to go to bed. That's just it. The darkness. So now I have no problem going to sleep. I have no problem after I go to the restroom, back to sleep. Um, but when I get up, I exercise before I get out the bed. I do sit-ups before I get out the bed. I do leg stretching or whatever before I get out the bed. So this element really helped me a lot. And exercise, okay, how many hours? I get 8 or 9. I usually get 7 before that, Barbara, when you was talking about. I used to go to bed at 10, 11, 12 and wake up at 2 and 3 and can't go back. It was horrible. But this daylight saving thing here, no problem with that. So I really enjoy that, this element. And I take my medicine in the morning.
Okay, good, good. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, I know that the time change definitely has me waking up an hour earlier. So I don't know if anybody else felt that. But yeah, I definitely relate to the lark. But anybody else have any additional comments?
Lanita, you're upside down.
Oh, let's see.
There you go.
Okay. Carol, did you put your hand up again? Oh, okay. Go ahead.
I just want to come back to Barbara. I don't know if you saw my note, Barbara, but change to rooibos tea. It helps you go to sleep. That was one thing. Another thing that I noticed is that if I have even a crack of light, any light, so I learned that, turn that off. But I just want to mention that one other thing. I don't remember if you mentioned it too on page 397 about the snooze alarm. I used to do that back when I worked, do that snooze alarm. And we're learning now that that snooze button is a habit of disease. If you allow yourself to fall back asleep, you're not really getting a full, deep, restorative sleep. And so you're really not helping yourself by snoozing. So rather than hit the snooze button, just go ahead and put the alarm to the maximum time that you need to sleep. And then when it goes off, get up. So I just thought that was pretty cool. I don't know if you brought it out. If you did, I'm so sorry. I was trying to keep up, but I really like that part. So that was
No.
all I had to say.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for bringing that out. Yeah, I didn't actually bring that part out, but that's actually really good. That's something I do struggle with because I would set my alarm for an hour before I have to get up so I can snooze on purpose. But now it's showing like, don't do that. Set your alarm for the time you need to get up and just get up. But yeah. Did anybody else have any additional comments that they wanted to share? Or any non-scale victories they experienced this past week? Let's see, Miss Claudia. Oh, I think you're on mute. Hold on, I think you're on mute. I can't hear you.
Okay, you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. No, I have a question. I need help because what do some of you do to not obsess over things? Sometimes I go to bed thinking about a subject, something I was doing during the day, and the next day I have to call a vendor. I'm on our HOA. Next day I have to call a vendor and I go to sleep late. I sleep a few hours and then I wake up and I'm right back on that subject again. and then I can't turn it off. So what can you do to take your mind, get out off that little hamster wheel that you get on sometimes, that can keep you from sleeping? If anyone can answer that.
There was a whole part on stress and anxiety, but hold on, let me.
I can tell you what I did, Auntie. So that's just like OCD, intrusive thoughts. So a way to stop that, that worked out a lot for me was I worked out. I went on like the treadmill, running, activity, biking, because it just kind of like it tires out your mind. So basically that's kind of like stress and anxiety. When your body's under stress, it does like a hamster wheel. So what you want to do is kind of like burn it out, tire it out. Another way is like journaling. Write down whatever that thought is on paper. Once it's written on paper, your mind acknowledges it and it automatically stops. Those are some few tips that worked, because the main thing is just getting out of your mind. And another way is just acknowledging that thought for what it is, because if you acknowledge it, the thought will stop. If you ignore it or try to push it back, it will keep going in a circle. It's like OCD. That's one of my tips that helped me.
I'm going to second that. I was told again about the journaling, and that used to help me because I would sit there and keep thinking about it, excuse me. And once I wrote it down, my brain's like, oh, good, you've taken care of that. And I could go back to sleep, because otherwise I just could keep waking up thinking I have to get this done. And unless I got up and did it, I couldn't focus. So writing it down tricks your brain into thinking that it took care of the item.
And I'm following behind Tamara and Jamie, because that's basically what I had to learn to do too. I journal everything down. You write down your, the priorities, but you write it all down. And, I was told that a long time ago, but I didn't do it at the time, years ago, but I do it now. I just write things down. And then, as was already mentioned, it triggers the brain and thinking that it's already done. And then you can get some nice night, you'll get pretty good rest after that, because your brain felt like it's already taken care of. And that sounds like that's what you was doing. You're thinking about things that you have to do, and you're going to bed thinking about it. And if you don't complete it, then the next night you're doing the same thing. So you're just on that wheel. So yeah, that the journaling helped me as well, Claudia.
Okay. Wonderful.
Yeah, and then I was going to bring out too, on page 412 of the Dr. A's Habits of Health, it does talk about the stress and anxiety factor. And it just brings out some points in there too that you can do, like even in the moment if you're feeling stress or anxiety.
What
But
page is that again?
Page 412 in the Dr. A's Habits of Health book.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah. But thank you so much for sharing. Does anybody else have any additional questions or non-scale victories they want to share with the group? So we are at 7 o'clock. I'll toss it back over to you, James.
Very nice. Thank you. Thank you, Lanita, for leading us tonight. Everybody for your comments and your advice and the great questions. This is such a great element. I love our program and our system because we see it's so much more than just weight loss. We really focus on optimizing and living a longer, healthier life, and sleep, as we talked about today, is one of those areas that will definitely help us with the weight loss, but really help us optimize our life and our health. So thank you again, Lanita, for covering this element. And so next week, we're going to be back next week, next Tuesday, same place, same time, same Zoom, and we're going to be going over element 20. So I invite you guys all to come back next week, and it's going to be maximizing your anti-inflammation protection, which is another great element, especially when we're focusing on optimizing and health and living a longer, healthier life. So we'll see you guys all next week. For those that missed, I'll place the playback, the recording in the group. You guys can send that off to your friends, your families, coaches, and clients. And we'll see you guys all next week. Have a great night.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.